Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I am your host, Larry the Chupacabra, and today we're going to be doing another round of Evolve, and this time I am playing the Tracker, whose job it is to track down the monster and make it so that we can find him and kill him, and also that they don't escape before we're done beating him to a bloody pulp. As long as we're fast enough at it, that is. We're actually jumping into this match a little further along. Our puppy from the last match as Markov is playing as the Goliath, and he's pretty good at eluding us. Knows how to use the sneak mechanic very well. And right about now, Avaria goes into Stage 2, which we don't want to continue into Stage 3, but you can kind of, cue in on where they are by the sounds they make while they're evolving. Sort of. In general, the whole idea behind the tracker, or at least the Phase Tier 1 tracker of Maggie, is that you follow her pet dog, or her pet snap dog, Daisy, and she, in theory, should help you find the monster pretty well, what with being some sort of animal that can do a bloodhound trick. Unfortunately, that's not really the case all the time, but luckily we found some tracks, so Daisy's off the hook this time. We managed to catch Avaria with his pants down, his or her pants down, and just as he's trying to jump away, we put down the mobile arena. Now, for the most part, I'm just going to run around like a chicken with my head cut off, throwing down some of these spike traps. And why would I do that instead of shooting the monster when there's already spike traps down on the ground? Well, Maggie's damage is actually kind of crappy. Her little machine gun is good for dispatching random wildlife throughout the map, but isn't that great. So Avaria's not the bestest at the combat, and is mostly concerned with just jumping around and trying to avoid us killing him before until the dome goes down. So we've managed to get through his armor, and he's going to try and hide down in that little hole over there leading to the waterfall until, the time runs out and he can escape. So our buddy Artrin's down there as the support, trying his darndest to stay alive and deal some damage, keep the monster distracted. Then we've got Mozzie on the heal gun. He's also been reasonably good about keeping some armor-piercing rounds on the monster. Those have already fallen off. So now we have to chase him a little bit more. The dome just went down. Takes a bit to recharge, but he hasn't immediately noticed that, which gives Mozzie plenty of time to jump on him and use the trank gun. Trank gun, as I'm sure you can imagine, just drugs the monster, makes him sluggish, makes it hard for it to move and jump and generally do everything. And Mozzie's just going to try and follow him and keep him tranked as long as possible. Really handy because everyone can also see him through terrain in the distance. So we're just going to try and get a hold of him before he can elude us again. Because again, we spent the first half of this little round just trying to find him at all, which was kind of difficult, so we don't dare let him sneak off into, the river or something. So Mozzie's just gonna stay on his tail and keep tranking him as long as possible. Then, of course, my dome's back up, so I'm just waiting while I'm, right next to the monster, and I'm gonna throw down my dome. For the most part, the other monsters running around, you can just ignore them. They're not gonna do much to you. A few of them might try to incapacitate you, but there's not a lot of them. Alright, so we managed to capture the monster, and it's almost over for Avaria. He's got just a smidge of health left, and that's enough for a kill from an orbital bombardment, had Artrin landed that one, or just Markov going to town on his face. And of course, just in case, because I don't do a lot of damage, I'm just throwing down lots of spike traps, just so that Avaria can't try to play Ring Around the Rosie and avoid us. I'm gonna try and sneak in here and get him up. Fortunately, a smart monster will just stay on somebody who's downed until they're dead. But doesn't really matter, Avaria was low health, so we get him down anyway. So thank you everyone for joining me once again for a shorter episode of some Evolve Big Alpha. I've got some more of these coming, including some Bucket footage, which has been my favorite character so far, followed by Hyde, the Tier 2 Assault, along with Lazarus and the Tier 2 Hunter. I didn't play them, but I've got footage of each, so that should be pretty fun. So until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and toodaloo!